Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to cover the commonly asked questions in the Cognizant interviews. Okay. So first of all, let's discuss about the pattern of the questions which is asked. Uh, Cognizant normally asks the questions on a logical as well as compilation and as well as on code reuse. So their main focus is on core part, which is a programming. Okay. So today, what we are going to see, we are going to see the codes. We are going to find out what are the logical problems. We are going to find out what are the compilation problems, and we are going to find out what are the code reuse problems, and we are going to solve that problems. So this is how our session is going to be. So let's talk about the first question is which is normally asked in the Cognizant is check the syntax error or logical error and correct the error to get the desired output. So when we give any this is the code which is mentioned here. Let's say we are giving any value of n, and what we want to do is we want to print that value from that value to 0. So that is how it is expected. Now we need to find out what is the syntax error or if there is a logical error in this program. Okay, so first of all, what we will do, we will try to run this code and then we will check it. So here I'm running the code. Let's say this. So here if I write 5, then the code is going to infinite loop. So that means there is no syntactical error, but there is a logical error. What is expected is that it is mentioned here. What is expected that it should go from that number to 0. Okay, so and it's not going, that means it's coming to the infinite loop. So why it is coming to the infinite loop? The one thing you will notice here is it's mentioned unsigned int. So we need to understand what exactly is an unsigned int. Then only we will be able to understand what is wrong which is happening in this code. Okay, so here we have used the while loop. So ultimately this loop is going to infinite loop. That means this condition is getting false. Okay, sorry, this condition is getting true every time its condition is getting true. That's why this loop is getting executed continuously. Okay, so what is the reason that this condition I is greater than equals to 0 is getting true? So the reason behind it is unsigned integer. So what are the value which we have said for I, that is unsigned value. So what is mean by unsigned integer? So unsigned integers, these are often called as uints, are just like integers but have the property that they don't have a plus or minus sign associated with them. So thus they are always a non-negative value. So they will always be 0 or they will always be positive. So there will be no non-zero value in an unsigned integer. Okay, so when we are assigning the value I equals to n, right, and we are making I minus minus, so this I will never go beyond the 0. It means it will not go to -1, -2 or -3. So this condition will always be true, this will not be false. So whenever you are doing a minus minus minus, at the last time the value of this I will be 0 and it will not go beyond 0. That means it will not come to -1, -2, -3, because the variable which we have seen here is an unsigned integer. So the value of unsigned integer will always be 0 or it will be 1, 2, 3. So that's why it's not coming to end of this loop. Okay, so now what we will do, we will make it to signed integer like this, and now we will run it. So if I write 5, so you will see here 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, that is coming. It's because n is printed here. So now we are getting our output. Okay, so let's say if I am writing 10, so I will get the output 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like this. So this is what is the unsigned integer. Okay, I hope you have understood about unsigned integer. Now let's take the next example. So this is the next example which is given. Find the factorial of a given number. Okay, so whatever the number which you will give, we have to find out the factorial. Okay, so now this code is mentioned and here we have to find out what is the problem, whether it is a syntactical problem or whether it is a logical problem or whether it is a compilation problem. Okay, so what we will do, we will copy this code and we will paste it here and we will try to solve what exactly is the issue. Okay, so here if you can see, uh, we we have used they have used the long int here. So we need to understand what exactly is a long int. I'm going to tell you that. And syntactically it is looking fine, so there will be no syntax error. If we try to run the code, let's check. So here it is asking us for the on line number 4 we have used scanf, so it's asking us for the number. Let's say I'm giving 20 and the answer we are getting a -210,213. like this we are getting the answer minus. So the answer of any of the factorial number will not be a minus. Okay, now let's check what exactly is the factorial. Let's say factorial, find out factorial online. Okay, so what we will do, factorial calculator. So here we will give the number and we will check what is going to be the output of this. Okay, so just a minute. So it's clear that here there is no syntactical error. The code is running fine, but the error we are, but the output we are getting is not matching which is expected. Okay, so there is a logical error. The logic which is used here is wrong. So what we have to do is we have to find out that how we can correct it. Okay, so here first of all what we will do, we, just a minute. So here we will write 20. So this is the factorial of the 20. So the expected output of the number 20 is this, but the output which we are getting is minus something like this. So there is a logical problem. Now here the term which is mentioned is long int. Okay, so we need to understand what exactly is a long int. Okay, so long int is just like a integer which takes the memory of 8 bytes. Okay, and whenever we are using a long int, we have to make the use of ld in printf and scanf. Okay, so let's check whether ld is used. No, here there is no ld used. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to write ld here and then we need to write ld here. Okay, so in this way what we can write, and let's check now. If we will try to run the code, let's say I am writing 20. So we are getting now output 0. Just a minute, still we are not getting the output proper. So let's say I am running the code again, and here if I try to run 20, so this is the output I am getting. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to use ld here. If you are not using a ld, so it will be considered as an integer value and the calculations will be wrong, right? Because %d we normally use to accept the integer value and %d we normally use to print the values, integer values. So if you are working on a long int, then you have to use ld in scanf as well as printf. So that's all about it. Now let's take the third question. So this is our third question, and here it's mentioned that check whether the below program prints the below pattern. So the pattern is given and the code is also given. So what we have to do is we have to check whether this given code is printing this pattern. Okay, so on the first look it is appearing that the pattern is like this. The first in the first line 4 numbers are printed, then 3 numbers are printed, then 2 numbers are printed. So likewise the numbers are printed over here. So first of all what we will do, we will try to run this code and we will check whether we are getting this output or not. So here what we will do, we will try to run the code and we will check. So let's say I am giving the input 3. So this kind of pattern it's creating. Okay, so whatever the number I will write, I am getting that number of values in every printf statement. Okay, and what is expected, this kind of output is expected. Okay, so what is wrong here? So if you will observe it carefully, this is the outer for loop, this is the outer for loop, and here it's a inner for loop. So whenever you have a question like this that you want to print the pattern, always understand that here the value of, let's say for example value of I will be 3. Okay, if we have a value of I 3, what we want is the j should be 2. The j should be 2. Why j should be 2? Because whenever we are going into the next loop, right, one element should be less. So that is what is expected. So if you can see here, here there are 4 elements, on the next line there are 3 elements. So we need to always, we will always need one element less than the outer loop. Okay, so that is what is expected. So whenever I will be 2, then we want j as a 1. Okay, and when I will be 1, we want j as 0. Okay, so if you observe it, if you observe it carefully, what changes you can do in a for loop is, what you will do is j equals to I minus 1. So this value of j will be always minus 1. So whatever the value of I, it will always be minus 1. So loop will always be executed less than 1. Okay, so if we make it as I minus 1, okay, and if we try to run it, let's check. I'm giving the value 3. So now you will get the proper output. Let's see, 1 1 1 2 2 2 3 3. Okay, so always understand when you are using a to loop and you want to print this kind of pattern, what you will need to do, you will always need to set the index of j to I minus 1. Okay, so that's all about this question. Now coming to the next question, find the greatest of three numbers. So the code is given and what we need to do is we need to find out the greatest of these three numbers. Okay, so let's run the code first, then we will try to solve this. First of all, let's check whether there are any errors in this program or not. Okay, so here there are three numbers which are mentioned. Okay, the scanf line is given and we are taking the three numbers, that's all fine. So here they have made the syntactical mistake that number only, they have not properly written the condition. Okay, if I try to run it, let's check what is the error we are getting. So here we are getting the error in a if condition. Okay, so condition should not be written like this, it should always be enclosed within the parenthesis. Okay, so here there are two conditions, this is the first condition and this is the another condition. Okay, and these both condition should be enclosed within the braces, so that's why I have written the round bracket here. And if this condition is true, we will print number 1. If this condition is false, then again second condition, here is also error, we need to give space, okay, to separate it. So here they are making the use of ladder if else, so here I have given the space. And the next condition is checked, if this is true, then come to the next printf statement. Here the semicolon is missing, so we need to give semicolon and then else. So now it's looking fine. Let's run the code and check the output. So let's say I'm giving three numbers, 20, then 25 and then 14. So we are getting output 25. So now it's perfectly fine. Okay, so these are some of the mistakes. It was quite simple program. Okay, now go to next question. Fix the error, recompile and match against the output provided. Okay, so what is the output expected is, this is a buggy program, that is what is the output expected. Okay,